Hello everyone, and welcome to Group 10's presentation. First of all, let me thank you all for coming here today. I'm the first presenter, Chunso Yang. We're going to have a presentation about cross-site scripting, or XSS, today. The presentation can be broken down into what is XSS attack demonstration, code walkthrough, and how to prevent. So what is the cross-site scripting in computer security? Cross-site scripting, also known as XSS, is a client-side code injection attack. The first type of attacks is reflected XSS, aka non-persistent or type 1. Reflected XSS occurs when user input is immediately returned by a web application, such as in an error message, search result, or any other response that includes part of the input from a malicious user, without that data being made safe to render in the browser and without permanently storing the user provided data. The second type of attacks is stored XSS, aka persistent or type 2. Stored XSS generally occurs when user input is stored on the target server, such as in a database, message form, comment field, etc. And then the victim is able to retrieve the stored malicious code from the web application without that the data being made safe to render in the browser. We're gonna focus on this one and show the demonstration about how the stored XSS actually works. The last type of attacks is DOM-based XSS, aka type 0. Document Object Model DOM-based XSS is an attack wherein the attack payload is executed as a result of modifying the DOM environment in the victim's browser used by the original client-side script so that the client-side code runs in an unexpected manner. That is, the page itself, the HTTP response does not change, but the client-side code contained in the page executes differently due to the malicious modifications that have occurred in the DOM environment. Next is the attack process of stored XSS. First, a perpetrator discovers a website having a vulnerability that enables script injection. Next, the perpetrator injects the website with a malicious script, such as steal visitors, session, or cookies. After that, when website visitors retrieve the website, the malicious script is activated. Finally, visitor session cookie is sent to perpetrator or something worse can happen. Overall, the attacker aims to execute malicious scripts in a web browser of the victim by including malicious code in a legitimate web page or web application. The actual attack occurs when the victim visits the web page or web application. A web page or web application is vulnerable to XSS if it uses unsanitized user input and the output that it generates, which will be parsed by the other victim's browser. XSS attacks are most common in JavaScript because it is fundamental to most browsing experiences.
Hello, I'm Sangbong Pang. I'm here to show you how to attack our web page using stored XSS injection. This is our web page. As we can see, you can find the two sections. First one is the input section at the top of the page, and then at the bottom section, we can find the output section to show the input data stored in database. If we put some data like this, we can see the database in the bottom table, and then if I see the inspection, we can see the data in the table as well as SQLite database like this. It means our input data stored in database properly. Then I'm gonna show you XSS injection using our web page. As you know, these some JavaScript code are not allowed to input field, but I will add some script to show the XSS injection. I will use two different codes. First one is popping an alert message. If I put this code in the info field and then execute to, we can see the alert message on the web browser, and as we expected, this script is added in the code. Because of this, even if we refresh our web page, this alert message is showing like this. And if we see the database, we can find the script code like this. I will add a second script to it. Is for redirect to another page. If I execute this code, the alert message is showing, and then this page redirect to another page like this. Even if you go back to our web page, it still show the alert message, and then it redirect to unexpected web page like this. When we see the database, as we expected, we can see the two script code like this. This demonstration, this is a demonstration to attack our web page using stored XSS injection. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Ji-sang, who is going to tell you about codes that operate the website. I hope you understand how the website works in the previous slides. First of all, I will show you the major codes that run web application. It is based on a Flask made in Python and SQLite for saving data. As you can see, the main code seems so simple. When a client tries to enter a page by requesting with method get, web server will provide the client with indexed HTML and comments data that other users might have entered. After finding out all of comments from database DB by using SQLite 3, comments will be rendered into a client page. Okay, what problem would happen if one of comments have the malicious JavaScripts, just like the situation in the demonstration that you saw? If I'm going to use Jinja, which is templating engine from Flask framework, it will automatically protect client from the codes. Jinja with default configuration will keep the script from running by modifying malicious code into not runnable. Fortunately, we can turn off the configuration in order to demonstrate XSS attack. If I declare the autoscape with first like this code, malicious comments will be rendered into client page without any modification, which means that client page operate the codes.
The next is how to protect against XSS attacks. There are many precautions developer can take to prevent XSS attacks. However, I would like to introduce the three representative preventions, some of them. The first is sanitize and validate input fields. Input fields are the most common point of entry for XSS attack scripts. Therefore, developers should always screen and validate any information input into data fields. Validating input before processing the attacker's request is important because it prevents XSS attacks early on. Input validation detects unauthorized user input before the application existed. And special characters such as and slash should be filtered to prevent them from being used maliciously. Also, it is essential to carry out server-side input validation when preventing XSS attacks. The server side is mainly performed for input validation, as it can easily be bypassed when done via the client side. Validating the data before it's sent to server will also protect against persistent XSS scripts. For example, if you remove the script tag in the process of injecting the script tag, which is the most basic attack method of XSS, you can effectively defend against XSS. So, properly sanitized input ensures that user can submit only trusted data. It ensures that only expected data is inputted in. To make it easier, sanitized input is only authorizing input fields to accept parentheses, numbers, and hyphens. Sanitizing data in an HTTP request before execution ensures that data is validated and filtered before it is outputted to the user. The second is a web application firewall, WAF. WAF can be a powerful tool for protecting against XSS. WAFs can filter bots and other malicious activity that may indicate an attack. Attacks can then be blocked before any script is executed. The last but not least, content security policy. A content security policy can define the functions the website is allowed to perform. They can be used to prevent a website from accepting any inline scripts. This may be the strongest method at your disposal, as it can completely block XSS attacks or at least greatly reduce the possibility of. Besides, keeping software up to date and whitelist value are effective in preventing XSS. And that brings us to the end. We've presented what XSS is, simulation, how to prevent it. Thank you for your time and attention today.